Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Inconsequential Runner. If you're here for the first time, as a quick intro, this is where we have Coach Mark join us. And as runners, we ask a coach exactly what we want to know. And in today's session, Coach Mark, a bit of a heads up. I'm going to ask you about running 2 sessions in a day. You know the story. If you like the video, give it a like. It really helps us. You know that. And if you want to be kept in the loop with these short, sharp videos, which we try and make information rich for runners to make running more fun for you, hit subscribe and they'll pop up in your feed on the way through. Coach Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Darcy.
Oh, it's too easy. It's too easy. In fact, you're not a guest of the show. You're like a co-host. We do this
Oh, am I?
together, Coach Mark. I don't know if you know that, but we've signed you up and you've joined the army, as it were. Coach Mark, I want to ask you this one question. I've had people tap on my shoulder actually and ask me to ask you the same question, and that is, how do we run, or what do we need to think about running 2 sessions a day? So I think what we're talking about is that runner that has transformed their running from maybe twice or 3 times a week to 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a week. And now they're looking to go that third step, which is, okay, I'm thinking about doing 2 sessions a day. So they're really becoming quite a serious runner here, and they probably understand they've got a shoe rotation now. They've got a number of shoes.
Yep.
They use. Something else we can talk about another time, maybe, Coach Mark, a shoe rotation. But the question I've got for you, I'm speaking fast because I'm super excited. How do we build in 2 sessions in a day, conscious of the fact that we don't get a sleep overnight and our bodies won't recover as much doing the second session and the day after the first? So what do we need to be mindful of to be able to do 2 sessions a day? Coach Mark, what do you think?
Well, you really need to think about two things. So, one, you should always try and follow an anaerobic session. So, a fast, intense session
Yep.
with an aerobic session,
Okay.
or an of varying, a varying level where you're breathing comfortably.
Yep.
Because otherwise, if you're doing anaerobic, unless you're an elite runner, they can get away with that sometimes with huge endurance base. You're just going to tear the body down. Whereas you actually want to, an anaerobic session puts your body in an acidic condition, and in the aerobic brings it back to normal. So you always want to think of that. So that's the first thing. You can do 2 aerobic sessions. You can do aerobic. So it's either anaerobic or aerobic.
Okay.
And the other thing you want to think about is you don't want to negatively affect the quality of your next day's run or your next run.
Okay. Okay. So I've made some notes. Let me see if I've got this, and I'm going to oversimplify. So when I hear anaerobic, I always think of that as a hard session, like an interval session or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you're doing 2 sessions in a day, you have your easy session, follow your hard session. So your hard session is going to be first. Don't make your hard session last. You can do 2 easy sessions in a day, but if you're going to do a hard session, that comes first. But the sum total of the 2 sessions, either being easy, or hard in the morning, easy in the afternoon, the sum total of those sessions, if they take away from your recovery overnight where you can't perform well the next day, then that's just too much. They combined have to be less than the recovery you're going to get overnight to be able to run again the next day.
Yeah, that's right. You can actually, you don't have to do your hard session first. But say to use an example, say on a Tuesday, say on a Tuesday night, for example. No, let me think. Say on a Wednesday, you've done a long easy run, for example, long aerobic runs. Okay. Might be an hour or so. Yep. So then you can on the Thursday you might choose to do 2 sessions in that day. So you can do it either 2 ways. You can either then do make your next session, your first session on the Thursday, a hard session, and then in the evening or the afternoon, do another easy one. Or you could do, you could follow up that Wednesday one with another easy one. It just sort of consolidates that, and then do the hard one. Okay. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So whatever way you do it, you can do it either or. But that extra session that you want to add in, because first you want to look at your week and think, am I getting the most benefit out of my week? Have I got all the key sessions in my week? Because you want to look at that first before adding in the second session.
Yes, gotcha.
And then that second session would generally be an easy run to further recover from your previous hard run, but also it adds in extra endurance to your overall program, so you get that extra aerobic benefit. So you're gonna have a better base, better aerobically fit, and your whole, all your performances will then hopefully improve accordingly.
Okay. Thank you, and thanks for your clarification on that, Coach Mark. I got that a little bit wrong, talking about the morning and the afternoon. So out of the three combinations, which is hard with a hard with an easy, easy with an easy, there's only two combinations you're looking at, and that's the hard with the easy and the easy with the easy. We're not doing hard, unless, as you say,
that's right.
Our name's Jacob Ingebrigtsen or
that's right,
or something like that. And sorry to Jacob if he's watching this.
And they're running, over 100 miles a week. So that's the difference.
That's going to be a figure. Okay. So the other question I've got for you then, and because you asked adding in an easy session, I was going to ask, well, how should we warm up for it? But I suppose if it's an easy session, you're doing it as per normal. Or have I got that wrong, Coach? Because you're adding in
no, just as normal.
Keep it
and effectively, when you just start it, if you're just adding in that extra day initially, you want to make it very easy and very short, because it's like an extra session, and then you can gradually extend that as your body gets used to it. It's like anything, adding in an extra variable.
Okay. Now, Coach, I'm a specific sort of guy. So when I hear the word short, I go, right, let's convert that to a number. So, but let me put some assumptions around that first. So these are the assumptions. Because someone is looking at doing a second session on a day, they are already running 5 days a week, and probably already doing 60 kilometers minimum, or around about 60 kilometers already. What would that be in miles? 36 miles a week. Now they're looking at a second session. So there's someone who has at least 60 kilometers a week in their legs, at least 5 days of training in their legs. Now they're looking at doing that second session, which is going to be easy. So what sort of time are we looking at, Coach? Are we looking at, when you say keep it short at the start, are we talking 30 minutes, 40 minutes? What's your definition of short?
Yeah, we're using, say, 60 as a example. So using the rule that you shouldn't add more than 10% a week. So 10% of 6, that'd be 6K.
Yep.
So it's 5 to 6K. So that
gotcha. At an easy pace, super easy. So
exactly.
6-minute Ks maybe, if it's 6K, and then you get about 36 minutes. There it is, Coach Mark.
If that's all good, then you can add in another one on another day. If if that's all going good, and then you've added another 10% on. It's a good way of adding.
Okay, last question then. If you add one session, a double session now, how many weeks should you leave it before you consider a second double session? Because you wouldn't want to do it this week, would you?
Yeah. I would allow at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks would be enough as long as it's easy. But monitor your body.
Yeah.
How's it feeling? And how's your next session? That's quite important as well. It's all very well adding in that extra session, but if you're then knackered for your your next quality session, or not knackered, or you're stiff or sore or whatever, then you've lost the benefit. So
Yeah,
it should
totally.
add to it, not just do it for the sake of it.
Yeah. No, look,
Yeah,
every morning when I wake up, I look at what my heart rate's been overnight, the lowest, and that usually gives me some sort of indicator of how I'm recovering. And
yeah,
now with our devices, if you've got your Garmin watch and it's got your body battery, it can help you monitor how you're recovering. Coach Mark, thank
yes,
you for really untangling that, because I think a lot of people worry or they fear about doing a second session. And I think what you've done is you've really untangled some of the fear we have around it. So,
mm,
have a second session, absolutely do it, but make sure it's not compromising the next day. Make sure you're recovering. It's only an
yeah,
easy session. It's no more than 10% of your whole week. So we're talking around about 30 minutes to 40 minutes
mm,
sort of session.
yeah,
Start there. If you're looking at it going even further and a second double session in the week, leave it at least a couple of weeks. But as long as you're monitoring how you're feeling the next day, and that the second session you're adding to make it a double session is easy, you can't go
yeah.
wrong. Coach Mark, have
No,
I got it in a nutshell?
you've got to.
Awesome. Coach Mark, thank you so much for joining us again. I think next week we've got coming up dealing with plateaus. So
Ooh,
that's the question. Or not next week, next couple of days. So we'll catch up.
yeah.
For those of you watching, thank you for watching and making it to the end of the video. If you have any comments, feel free to throw them in the comments below. If you've got a question, ask the question and we'll answer it for you. Thanks so much, Coach Mark. Take care. Catch up with you soon.
Okay. Cheers, Darcy. Bye.